Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Kerry Duval. I am the Mental Health Warrior's wife. And today we're joined by the brilliant Stephen Knapp. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, great to be here.
Thank you for joining us. To start off with, something I forgot to do this morning, it was some quick fire questions just to set the mood and calm us both down. So are you a cat person or a dog person?
Definitely dog.
Dog. I'm a cat.
I've got two dogs running amok out here at the moment.
Okay. What's your favourite season?
Spring, I reckon.
Spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, doesn't belong anywhere. Shouldn't even exist.
I disagree. Let's start off with, tell us, who is Stephen?
I'm a 43-year-old fella from Melbourne, Australia. I've got 4 kids, 2 dogs. I'm a mindset coach. So I work with a lot of people that are wanting to sort of transform themselves and work through techniques to sort of get themselves more set up for success. And I'm also a junior sports coach. I've spent, a bit over 20 years coaching kids basketball, football, currently coaching my daughter's netball team for the last 5 years and vice president of the netball club. So, I'm a pretty busy fella.
For those of us who don't know, what is a mindset coach?
All it really is just giving people some structure and techniques to break through some bad habits, negative beliefs, and make some sort of long-lasting transformations.
And how did you get into it?
Well, it all came from about probably 5 years ago. I'd had a long battle with depression and some pretty serious alcohol abuse. The depression I didn't really understand or even realise it was going on for so long. And when I finally decided to seek help and work out what was going on with my life and make some changes, it just flipped me on a totally different path. And I immersed myself into a lot of personal development and made so many changes. And I was seeing all this growth and potential in myself. And I thought, geez, it'd be pretty cool to give back and share a bit of this with everyone else who's battling with things. And it just took off from there. I started looking into various things and came across a great place in Melbourne called the Coaching Institute. And I've been studying there for the past 3 and a bit years. And then I've also gone out separately and got my certification to be a practitioner in NLP and timeline therapy. So it's all just kicked off from making some changes in my personal life and wanting to share that with everyone else.
Yeah, brilliant. Which is obviously one thing that Adam wanted to ask you was, how important is it to have a good mindset?
It really is everything. If your mind's not in the right space, neither's your health and well-being on any level, really. Like if you're not thinking well, you don't want to exercise, your diet's poor, and really importantly, I think your relationships with other people are only as good as your relationship with yourself as well. So getting your mind into a space where it's able to harness all the good in the world and I suppose have that more positive outlook instead of pessimistic, it really flips things. I know in one of my groups I shared probably about 6 weeks ago, I'm still working full time around my coaching as well, and my job was just getting me down and I wasn't enjoying it, and every day seemed to throw up new challenges. So I sat down and went, right, this isn't sustainable for me. So I set a clear intention every night before I went to bed that the following day was going to be a great day at work. And then in the morning I'd wake up and go, right, today is just going to be fantastic. Work's going to be really good. And for, the past 6-7 weeks, I haven't had a bad day at work. And I'm sure the experience at work hasn't changed. It's just the thoughts I've had entering the building every morning that it's going to be a good day has made all the difference.
Yeah. And I think it's great that you've got a smile on your face and you said all that with a smile on your face.
I can't help it. I'm so happy. Like once you get your life in a good space, not much gets me down. The challenges, when I think back to the depression times, the things that would would get me down and harbour in my thoughts for a long time, they just don't exist anymore. I'm a pretty upbeat, generally smiley person as much as possible.
Yeah. Obviously, that's you now. So going back to the depression, and it says in your bio that you had a bit of alcohol abuse. How did you get? So how did all that come about? If you don't mind me asking.
I think it. Oh no, certainly. I've found that sharing this stuff has been phenomenal for not myself personally, but the amount of people that have reached out to me since I've been more than willing to share all this in public domains has been huge. So yeah, more than happy to. Hopefully, if I can share some of it, it'll help people steer away from my mistake.
And this is why we do these videos. So obviously, raise awareness that other people are going through similar things to you, and obviously, if they can come out and talk about it and start to rebuild their lives after it, so can you.
Exactly.
The help's out there, and obviously, this is why I wanted to bring it up for you.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the main thing. Never keep these things to yourself. It's I'm sure I stayed in denial for so long because I still presented this way. I was still, oh, look at Steve, he's always smiling, he's always happy, and I tried to be. It was a battle, but I think my problem started at a very young age. I started playing senior football at about 15 years old, and back in the early to mid 90s, it was a big drinking culture. So you'd have training a couple of nights a week, and as soon as that had finished, you'd have the shower, and then you'd be straight in the club rooms on the beers, and then game days. As soon as you finished, you'd be on the beers, and I was just totally not mentally ready. I was a 15-year-old doing this stuff with 25, 30-year-old men who were accustomed to it, and probably not doing them any favors either. But I was totally not prepared, and I went from there into a trade background. I became a roof tiler, and same culture again. It's like as soon as we finished the job for the day, it'd be where's the nearest pub, where's the bottle shop, and be on the beers straight away. And over a period of time, it just became a habit that you don't even realize you're doing. It was just an automatic instinct to grab a drink, and it was well over 20 years of doing that it actually hit home, and I went, wow, you're really not doing yourself any favors. And it was only when I got that under control that I realized how much more alert I was in the morning and how much more efficient and effective I was at work, that I went, wow, there's so much to this, that I thought I was just some bulletproof superhuman fella that could do this all day and all night and then front up to work in the morning. But I was there in body, but not in mind. So nothing was focused and concentrated on. And I think the depression and alcohol are two things that just go perfectly hand in hand together. You get depressed, so you have a drink, then you drink too much and it makes you depressed, and it's just this vicious
cycle.
And it's never ending until you can really understand the process behind what you're doing and why, and make some changes. And I was never one to say that's it, I'm quitting alcohol for good. It's just I do enjoy a drink. It's just that matter of learning how to restrain myself. So when I first decided that would be the change, I went to drinking light beer instead, which was that was a great start. And I generally do stick to that now on most occasions. But I have done long stints. The start of winter, our winter last year, the 1st of June, I decided I was going to have a month off alcohol, and that turned into 120 something days. I just got on a roll and went, I'm feeling so good, I'll just keep going, and then got back into it. But luckily, intentionally haven't slipped back into any bad habits. So I can't
it's about rebuilding that relationship with alcohol, isn't it?
It is.
Having a good relationship with it.
Totally. It's just showing a lot more common sense approach to how it is and how the relationship forms, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, Adam's on the comments and he asks, what was the trigger that set off your depression?
Oh, it's hard to know, really, because I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know that I was depressed until from sort of the help I did have quite a few sessions with a psychologist, and when we really dug deep, it seemed like it had been with me probably from my early to mid-teens, and it was only when I was about 38 that I realised and understood it, that I could go back in time and realise things that were leading me on that path. But there wasn't like I never had like a particular event or anything that caused me to be that way. I think it was just a long method of abuse to myself that caused all the problems.
Yeah. So what was your childhood like then?
Fairly normal-ish, I suppose. Everything was going along swimmingly. Then I had my parents divorced when I was about 10. And I made a very poor decision not long after that. I was given the option to choose which parent I would live with. And being a very young man of not a sound mind, I chose my dad because he was the one that spoilt me the most and let me get away with more, which as a young fella, that's a great idea and an awesome plan. But when you're wanting to evolve as a human and become the best version of yourself, it's a really poor basis and shocking foundation to have as a starting point. So that was probably a big mistake. Looking back now, not blaming my dad at all. Like, it was, every decision I made was mine and I own it all. But yeah, I think things would have been quite different if I had have chosen the other path and had the more stable influence of my mum. My dad was working 14 to 16-hour days with his own business 7 days a week. So I was basically, even before being a teenager, I was running the show at home. I was home from school, getting my own meals, doing my own washing, going to bed with no one in the house. And then he got in a relationship with a lady who didn't like children, so that didn't work out well for me. She'd come in quite often very early in the morning and give me a kick and say, "Come on, get out of bed, you lazy bugger." And I'm like, "It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm 14. Like, where have I got to be? It's Sunday." So, and that went on for quite a while, and until I was old enough, I think, about 17, I said, "Nah, I think it's time to make the change," and move back in with my mother. And and she was great. She's been great. She's all the way through. She's my number one supporter. And even when I haven't deserved it, like, obviously when you're running amok and it's the ones closest to you that you hurt the most and you don't treat with the love and respect they deserve. And she was certainly on that end of things. And I harbored a lot of regret and shame around that until I did a lot of work on myself. And even now, she's still a massive supporter. She's in my coaching communities. If I run a live workshop, she's there front and center, always comes. She likes everything I do. So it would have been very different if I'd have chosen that path, I think, when I was a bit younger. But you learn, everything's a lesson. So I'm happily just taking on board all those things that I learned and try to not bring that onto my children.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant that you've got a very supportive mum behind you.
Oh, I feel so terribly for the people that don't have that relationship, because it's such an important thing to even. I'm sure even when I'm 50, I'll still be mummy's boy. I'll still happily have her love and support everywhere I go, and I'll embrace every bit of it with as much as heart as I can.
Yeah, I'm one of those that doesn't have a strong relationship with my mum. I've got a better relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
But at least as long as there's one, like if you haven't got a relationship with either parent, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, but I had a strong relationship with my nana, and obviously she was a big female influence in my life. So
great.
I was grateful that I had my nana.
Beautiful, and that's it. Sometimes, isn't it? It's sometimes it's up to us to find the relationships that are going to be the most beneficial and fruitful going forward with people. And I'm actually having a tough time with my my youngest son. I've got 2 daughters and 2 sons, and the boys are in the middle. And my youngest son's been going off the rails lately and hasn't it's quite a shame that he has no interest in working with any of the skills that I have. And he's decided to go and live with his mum for a while. And I haven't seen him for about 6 weeks now. And it's hard. Like you just want the best for your kids.
Yeah.
But
it can be difficult. Obviously, children have got to make their own paths, haven't they?
Exactly.
And maybe one day he will come round like you did.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just a timing thing. And I said to my wife now, I said, look, you can't force things. You can't make somebody else have a different behavior or mindset. It's all up. They've got to choose to make the changes themselves. And I'm just holding space, and I'm here. He knows I'm here. When he's ready, I won't have gone anywhere, and he'll still be embraced with the same love and support that he had before. It's just a matter of time, just a waiting game of patience now.
which is what I'm going to say. As long as he knows that his dad's there already waiting when he is ready, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's all I can do. I don't want to be too pushy and overbearing, because I think sometimes that's just going to steer them in the wrong direction even more, and it's better just to hold that space and wait.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So going back to the NLP practitioner. So obviously, for those people who don't know, can you explain what one of that is?
Yeah. So NLP, I suppose the most simplistic way to explain it, it's a way of changing someone's thoughts and behaviours to really help them achieve their desired outcomes, I suppose. So just there's a lot of different techniques involved, but it all does come back to that mindset and helping people make some switches in things that aren't serving them and change that around to things that serve them going forward and really live a life more positively.
Yeah. So it's all about obviously having that positive life then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have a little free community on Facebook, which I just simply called Time to Thrive, because it's just a space for people to celebrate wins, share challenges, so the community can sort of get around and help people with anything that they're struggling with, because I have quite a few fellow coaches in the group as well, and just a blend of everybody. I sort of haven't structured it into a specific sort of person. It's there for anyone who just wants to be in a nice, uplifting environment and see all the good things that are out there.
Yeah. Would one of those coaches be Sharon Chanello?
Yes. Yep. Auntie Shaz is in there.
Auntie Shaz, we love her, yeah.
Oh, she's great. She's involved in everything I am. She's really good to have around. She's got that great energy and so much knowledge to share with everybody, and such a massive heart. Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she's our fellow warrior here at the Mental Health Warriors.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. My next question is, what is timeline therapy?
Timeline therapy, that's a different one. It's kind of almost like a therapeutic process. It's evolved from hypnosis and NLP. Used a lot in the UK. Prince Charles has been a massive advocate for it and used it really heavily in returned military troops that are battling hard with PTSD from what they've seen in war. And it's an amazing way to really go back in time and release negative emotions of like anger, hurt, sadness, and guilt and shame. And it's difficult to explain, but it's a phenomenal process. I've had it done myself, and it was had some real shifts in me that are immediate. It's not like something where you have to do months or weeks of work on it. Once it's done, and you find the root cause of the very first time. Like you always start with anger, and you'll go all the way back to the very first time. Even if it could have even been a past life, you can be going back generations ago to find when this was very first in you, and you can find the event and remove that from your life. And as you come back to the now, you actually remove it from every single event in your life that it's happened back to the now, so that you're basically a clean slate moving forward without having to deal with all that baggage hanging over your shoulder.
Yeah. Adam's on the comments. How did you come across Catherine Jane?
We we both were in a coaching program together that started late last year with another fellow coach of ours called Project Courage. And that was about, really sort of embracing our fears and stepping out into the world and away from the shadows. And it was a great group. Auntie Shazza was in that one as well. And
Auntie Shazza's just everywhere lately.
She's everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So we hit it off like a house on fire in there, and I suppose we sort of became the leaders of the group in the people that were participating. We were the ones that showed up every day and handled doing all the work and really made the most of it into stepping into our businesses and showing more of ourselves. And that all wound up, I think, around, middle of February or so. And we continued chatting and talking, and I said, wow, we've got a connection here that we really need to sit down and discuss if we can evolve this into something where we can help coaches and entrepreneurs develop the same sort of stuff we've done here, but expand it and turn it into more. And pretty rapidly we did that. And that was where we formed the Embodiment Alchemists group, where we run a 30-day challenge for coaches that really kicks off getting into daily rituals and habits that they're really transformational and life-changing rapidly too. Like there's guys in there that couldn't do a live video. Day one, they were terrified and shaking, going, no, not doing it, can't do it. And now, one of our stars, Magdalena, she's everywhere. She's done probably 150 live videos in the last 60 days. She's pushing her Pilates business out into the world. And all the guys in there are just so successful through such basic steps. But I think that the real secret that we've found is our community is so supportive, and it's such a safe space for all these guys that do have these fears to step out of that and experiment with each other, all on the same journey. And another thing that we were really keen on is every coaching program we've been in, the coach tends to tell you what to do and sit back and watch. We're not up for that. Every challenge we give the guys, we do it as well. So we're fully immersed in the community too, and it's evolving beautifully. And I couldn't think of a better person to do it with, because Catherine's a absolute firecracker. She is the queen of expression. She's unbelievable with so much energy, and what she brings is phenomenal. So I'm a very lucky man to have partnered up with someone like her.
Yeah. Adam's sent another comment. If you would like to send the Mental Health Warriors a challenge, we'd be willing to take it up.
Oh, beautiful. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Send us a challenge.
Or even add
us into the group, and obviously we can connect a bit more and maybe interview Catherine Jane at some point.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be great. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll bring you guys.
We'll get both warriors on together.
Yeah,
when Adam's better, of course.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, and I'd love to have you guys in the Time to Thrive community too, because it's great. Everything you share.
Feel free to add us in. Yeah.
Connect beautiful. That'd be great. Yeah, the more we can share all the stuff we're doing, the better. I think it's.
Definitely, because obviously we need to raise awareness of mental health and stop the stigma around mental health and help people by changing their mindset. And obviously, by us doing this and getting it out there, it's going to help.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? The more everyone's open to sharing this sort of stuff, it breaks down the stigma and allows people that freedom to feel that it's a comfortable thing to share with. And it's so powerful just getting those words out, no matter how painful it is at the time. Once you release that and you're heard and validated and seen, it really changes everything and flips 180 degrees to where you can be moving forward.
Yeah, once you know there's other people out there that have the similar feelings to you and have gone through the similar challenges to you, you feel better. You feel like, I'm not weird. This is normal and I can talk about it. And now I've found a community that I can talk about it freely and I'm not going to be judged.
100%.
Because there's so many judgmental people out there.
There is. It's phenomenal. And I think I know in our lifetime, there's never been a more important time than now. With everything that's been going on around the world with COVID, there's people just battling on so many different levels, emotional, financial. It's horrible and it's taking a toll. And there needs to be more powerful voices out there that are letting people know that they're not alone. We're here. We're open for discussions. We're here to help as many people as we can, and just keep that open line of communication always there to really help people along. It's so important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So before we go, tell people where they can find you.
Okay. Well, I'm all over Facebook. I'll give you guys a link to the Time to Thrive group. Everyone's more than welcome in there. I'd love that. The Embodiment Alchemist is a bit different. That's a paid program with the challenge involved. It also expands into an elite program for business owners that want to understand how to run webinars and workshops and create programs. That's a bit full on, but it's everyone's more than welcome there as well, of course. But yeah, so, and I'm always happy, always open to friend requests for people that are like-minded and wanting a bit more positivity in their life. So
I'll be sending you a friend request then.
Fantastic. I love that. The more the merrier. The more people we can embrace into our realm of happiness and positivity and help them through challenges.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it. I live for it. And yeah, it's my mission to help as many people as I physically can transform into the best versions of themselves for the rest of my life, that's for sure.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining us, Steve.
No, thanks so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No problem. And everybody else, I'm back at 6 o'clock with Loren Harris. We're going to catch up with him and what he's been up to. It's my first time talking to him, so it should be interesting. Yeah. Please share this for awareness and join us later on. See you later. Bye.
Bye.